The galaxy had grown used to rules. Every major civilization followed them. The Interstellar Council existed to maintain balance, peace, and order. They had rules about expansion, technology sharing, and conflict. Every species had to follow them or face consequences. Every species except humanity. For centuries, humans had been observed. The Council sent envoys, warnings, and even small fleets to advise them. Every time humans ignored them. They did not respond politely. They did not comply. They simply continued building, experimenting, exploring. To most alien species, this behavior was reckless, dangerous, and foolish. Yet humans survived. Not only did they survive, they thrived. Captain Leora Vex, a high-ranking officer of the Xylan Council, sat on her observation deck aboard the cruiser Tal Shan. She had watched hundreds of transmissions from Earth. She could not understand it. How can they be so defiant and still so effective? She murmured to herself. Her advisor, a tall, shimmering alien named Krith, shook his multi-limbed head. They are dangerous, Captain, Krith said. They do not respect authority. They do not follow warnings. And they are unpredictable. That is the most dangerous thing. They are humans, Vex said simply. They survive because they do not think like the rest of us. Every strategy we anticipate fails. Every threat we send is countered. And yet they do not start wars. They wait. They prepare. Far across the galaxy on a planet called Earth, humanity was indeed preparing. But no one outside the planet truly knew how far. Hidden deep underground and in orbit around the sun, massive shipyards churned day and night. Human engineers worked tirelessly. Human soldiers trained relentlessly. And human scientists designed technologies that no alien species could even imagine. Admiral James Corwin stood on the command deck of the flagship Resolute, looking at the countless warships filling the orbital hangars. They were not the largest in size compared to alien vessels, but there were so many of them that the fleet alone could overwhelm most known civilizations. Each ship was designed with versatility in mind. Every human vessel could fight, defend, and adapt. And every human crew had been trained to think creatively, to use unpredictability as a weapon. Admiral, a young officer said, her voice tense. Our sensors report an alien fleet near the outer colonies. They are scanning for us. I think they are expecting resistance, Corwin smiled faintly. Let them scan. Let them underestimate. That is exactly what we want. They think we will react the way every other species does. We won't, we prepare, we wait, and then we act. Meanwhile, in the Council, panic was spreading. Small alien fleets that had been sent to monitor humanity were returning, not with reports of peaceful compliance, but with reports of humans building more fleets, more defenses, and more advanced technologies. Entire Council systems were debating sanctions, but the humans ignored every communication. Every envoy sent to Earth either came back frustrated or disappeared entirely. It was as if Earth had become invisible to authority. I cannot believe they have done this, Councillor Thrick said during an emergency session. His voice echoed across the chamber. They ignored every warning, every demand, and yet they have grown stronger, far stronger than our intelligence predicted. They are humans, another councillor, a green-scaled species called Vorn, said. Nothing about them is predictable. Their survival depends on their unpredictability. Every time we think we understand them, they prove us wrong. On Earth, Corwin and his top admirals reviewed maps of the galaxy. Here, he said, pointing to several contested systems. We have planets claimed by multiple councils. Every one of these systems under our control is a demonstration. We do not attack, we do not destroy, but we show that we are capable. And when the time comes, we will decide what we want and who will obey us. Across the void, alien scouts first noticed humans moving in ways they had never seen before. Humans used stealth ships, capable of hiding from the most advanced sensors. They used complex tactics, splitting fleets, feinting, and regrouping in seconds. Alien commanders had never faced an enemy so fluid, so adaptable. Some tried to challenge the humans, expecting an easy victory. Most were destroyed before they could understand what had happened. Captain Leora Vex received reports that several Xylan vessels had gone missing near the edges of human-controlled space. Missing? She asked, her voice cold. Or destroyed? Krith shook his head. Likely both. Their technology? It is unlike anything we have ever encountered. Even our fastest ships could not detect it in time. They strike with precision, then vanish before we can respond. Vex clenched her fists. This cannot continue. If humanity continues to ignore us, they will force a conflict we may not survive. We must act now. But the Council's hands were tied. They could not launch a full-scale attack without risking war with other powerful civilizations who had their own interests in the galaxy. Humanity's expansion was slow but unstoppable. They had waited patiently, hidden in plain sight, building what could only be described as a fleet capable of challenging the galaxy's most powerful species. Back on Earth, Corwin walked along the observation platform of the orbital station, looking at the vast fleet below. Every ship represented decades of planning, millions of hours of work, and the human spirit's relentless determination. "They think we will attack recklessly," he said. "They think we will rush into war. But we do not fight like that. We fight smart, precise, and only when necessary." He turned to his second-in-command, Lieutenant Mara Kane. "Prepare for Phase 1. They will see us soon, and when they do, they will learn why humans are not to be underestimated." Kane's eyes widened. "Admiral, do you really think—" "Yes," Corwin interrupted calmly. "They will see, and they will regret thinking humanity was small, weak, or manageable." The first encounters began quietly. Small alien outposts near the human colonies detected movement. When scouts were sent, they found fleets larger than expected, ships faster than predicted, and humans operating with coordination no alien species had ever achieved. Battles erupted, but humans rarely sought unnecessary destruction. They disarmed, disabled, and captured when possible. Each encounter was designed to demonstrate capability, not cruelty. Captain Vex watched reports of another lost Xylan patrol fleet. "They are everywhere," she whispered, horror mixing with awe. "They have grown beyond our calculations. We cannot fight them with normal strategies." Krith nodded grimly. "And this is only the beginning. The humans have been preparing for this moment for decades. They did not rush. They did not panic, and now they are ready." The galaxy, which had long treated humans as a minor curiosity, began to realize the truth. Humanity had ignored every warning, every demand, and every rule. And now they were no longer a minor species. They were a force capable of challenging even the most powerful civilizations. As the suns of distant systems dimmed under the presence of approaching human fleets, the Council held emergency sessions. Leaders argued, debated, and panicked. "We cannot allow them to expand further," Thrix said. "We must act now before it is too late." But even as the Council debated, humans continued to move with quiet purpose. Their fleets were vast, disciplined, and efficient. They struck where needed, demonstrated strength without unnecessary destruction, and left alien commanders confused and fearful. Corwin watched as reports came in from multiple systems simultaneously. "They expected defiance, weakness, or chaos," he said. "We gave them order, precision, and patience. That is why they will underestimate us, and that is why they will fail." By the end of Part 1, humanity had made its presence known without a single act of unnecessary aggression. They had ignored every Council warning, and the galaxy was beginning to understand the consequences. What was once considered a minor species was now a civilization to be reckoned with. And above Earth, as the fleet gathered and prepared for its next moves, Admiral Corwin looked at the stars and whispered, "Let them see. Let them finally understand who humanity truly is." The first phase was over, but the war for respect, fear, and acknowledgement of human capability was only beginning. The galaxy had been warned, and humanity had been preparing. The day humanity revealed its true strength, the galaxy trembled. Entire star systems that had once considered humans a minor species now looked on in shock. The fleets that darkened the skies were not just numerous, they were precise, disciplined, and terrifyingly efficient. Alien commanders, who had long assumed they understood every known species, suddenly realized they had underestimated humanity in every possible way. Admiral James Corwin stood on the bridge of the flagship Resolute, watching reports flood in from every quadrant. The human fleets were moving in synchronized waves, each fleet aware of the other's positions, each attack coordinated to perfection. The Council fleets, which had been deployed piecemeal in hope of containing human expansion, found themselves outmaneuvered at every turn. "Admiral," Lieutenant Mara Kane said, pointing to the main display, "the Torvian Expanse fleet is engaging the alien forces now. They are collapsing under our tactics." Corwin did not flinch. "Good, keep the pressure. Remember, we do not destroy unless necessary. Disable, dominate, and control. Let them see our strength without wasting resources. Across the galaxy, the alien commanders were panicking. Counselor Thrix's voice echoed across a secure communications channel to all member species. We underestimated them. Entire fleets are being neutralized with minimal loss to humans. They are not attacking recklessly. They are attacking smart. They are humans, and they are unstoppable. Captain Leora Vex of the Xylan fleet had personally witnessed the devastation. Her fleet had advanced sensors, faster than light engines, and centuries of experience in interstellar warfare. And yet humans had outmaneuvered them, striking with precision and disappearing before retaliation could be launched. They are not just strong, she admitted reluctantly to Krith. They are intelligent, adaptable, and patient. Every time we think we have the advantage, they turn it into a trap for us. Krith's shimmering form twitched with unease. They have been planning this for decades. Their patience is as dangerous as their weapons. We cannot fight them as we would any other species. Meanwhile, humanity's fleets continued their advance. Strategic systems that were previously under alien control now found themselves surrounded by human warships. There were no false signals, no frantic attacks. The humans communicated their presence clearly. The message was simple: humanity was here, and humanity was capable of anything necessary to protect itself. In the midst of the chaos, Corwin received an urgent message from one of the Council's major powers, the Orvian Coalition. "We demand a ceasefire and negotiations immediately," the message read. "Humanity, your actions are reckless. Withdraw your fleets or face annihilation." Corwin studied the message for a moment, then replied calmly, "We do not wish to destroy anyone unnecessarily. But we will not be controlled, we will not be intimidated, and we will not retreat. We are humans, and humans do not wait to be dictated to." The Orvian response was delayed as their fleet scrambled to regroup. Across the galaxy, the other council members began to see the pattern. Human fleets were not attacking without reason. They were asserting dominance. They were showing that humanity could defend itself, that humanity could control its own destiny, and that humanity's patience had paid off. The Torvian expanse became the stage for the most decisive encounter. Thousands of human ships, coordinated like a single organism, faced a coalition of alien fleets intent on testing their strength. The battle began with a flurry of movement. Ships weaving between asteroids using gravitational fields to accelerate and decelerate unpredictably. Alien commanders fired weapons, expecting to overwhelm the humans with superior firepower. But human tactics were unconventional. They struck from unexpected angles, exploited weak points in alien formations, and used advanced electronic warfare to confuse enemy targeting systems. Ships that appeared alone were actually linked in complex networks, sharing information instantly. Humans adapted to every threat in real time. Entire squadrons that the aliens had considered secure were neutralized without human losses. Captain Vex watched from her command ship as one of her own fleets was forced to retreat. How are they doing this?" she muttered. "It is impossible. Their ship should not be able to coordinate at this speed with such efficiency." "They are humans," Krith reminded her. "Impossible is not in their nature." Even when faced with superior numbers, humans had the advantage of ingenuity. Small human strike teams boarded enemy vessels with minimal risk, disabling engines, communication arrays, and weapon systems. Alien pilots had no response. Their confidence crumbled as they realized that humans did not fight like anyone they had faced before. On Earth, Corwin monitored the battle in real time. He smiled faintly as reports came in of alien commanders surrendering their ships voluntarily to avoid destruction. "We do not kill without reason," he said to Kane, "but we do demand respect. Let them see that humanity is not a minor species. Let them see that ignoring us has consequences." The galaxy had long believed humans were predictable, reckless, or easily contained. That assumption had been fatal. Humanity had ignored every council warning, built fleets beyond imagination, and now demonstrated the kind of power that no species could ignore. It was not raw destruction that made humans formidable. It was strategy, adaptability, and patience. After weeks of coordinated operations, humanity had achieved its goal. Key systems previously under alien influence were now under human control. Entire council fleets had either surrendered, retreated, or been neutralized. And yet humans did not celebrate their victory with violence. They broadcast messages of negotiation and cooperation. Admiral Corwin addressed the galaxy in a transmission that would be remembered for centuries. We are humans. We have built, we have prepared, and we have acted. We do not seek to destroy, but we will not be dictated to. Let this be a lesson. Humanity will act in its own interest, and we will defend ourselves with everything we have. Respect is earned, and we are ready to earn it. The Council convened an emergency session. Alien leaders debated fiercely. Some argued that humanity should be crushed immediately. Others realized that their species had been humiliated by their own underestimation. The galaxy had underestimated humans for centuries, and now the consequences were unavoidable. Captain Vex, though humbled, felt a reluctant respect. She realized that the humans had done what no other species could. They had survived, prepared, and conquered the fear and doubt of the galaxy without initiating needless destruction. They are not monsters, she admitted to Krith. They are humans. And they are something far beyond what we expected. Humanity's fleets began to withdraw slightly, not out of weakness, but to establish a network of influence and stability. They occupied key systems, ensured that supply lines and colonies were safe, and left the galaxy with a clear understanding. Humans were not to be ignored. Humanity had acted decisively, with intelligence, strategy, and patience. In the weeks that followed, alien species that had once considered humans minor began to rethink everything. Humans were not just survivors. They were innovators, strategists, and warriors capable of shaping the galaxy itself. Back on Earth, Corwin stood on the bridge of Resolute, looking out at the stars. "We have shown them who we are," he said quietly. "Not through reckless war, but through patience, strategy, and strength. Humanity will not wait for permission to exist. Humanity will not bow to threats. And humanity will continue to rise." Kane placed a hand on his shoulder. "Do you think they will understand?" Corwin shook his head slightly, smiling. "Some will. Some will fear us. Some will learn. And some will still try to ignore us. But now they know. Now they all know. Humanity cannot be controlled. Humanity cannot be underestimated. And humanity will continue to surprise the galaxy." As human fleets slowly returned to Earth and nearby systems, the skies darkened not with battle, but with the memory of what had been achieved. Entire civilizations had glimpsed human ingenuity, patience, and power. They had witnessed the consequences of underestimating a species that ignored every warning, every rule, and every command. The galaxy had been warned. Humanity had acted, and the story of a species that refused to bow to the universe's counsels would be remembered for generations. Above Earth, in orbit, Admiral Corwin looked at the stars one last time. The fleets were in formation, ready for anything. "Let them see," he whispered. "Humanity will always rise, and we will always be ready." The galaxy would never be the same. Humans had arrived not as conquerors, but as a force that could not be ignored. Every species that had doubted them now faced the truth. Humanity's patience, intelligence, and determination made them a power beyond imagination. And humanity had only just begun.